She doesn't speak for the first 72 hours. The new cellmate. Number 91,847. Chen, according to the intake sheet, Officer Ramirez shoves through our door slot. But I don't call her that. Don't call her anything. Because she sits on the bottom bunk. My bunk, the one I've claimed for 8 months, and stares at the wall like she's watching a movie only she can see. Rivera, my original cellmate, catches my eye from the top bunk. Her expression says what we're both thinking. 3 women in a cell built for 2 is a punishment disguised as overcrowding. It means someone complained. Someone drew attention. Someone is being taught a lesson. I just don't know which one of us it is yet. The new woman's hands are shaking. Not the obvious tremor of withdrawal or fear, something deeper. Muscle memory of violence. I've seen it before. Women who've done things their bodies can't forget. You gonna tell us your name? Rivera finally asks. Or we just gonna call you Ghost? The woman's eyes shift. Focus on Rivera. Then on me. Then back to the wall. Maya, she says. Her voice is smoke and gravel. My name is Maya Chen. And that's the last thing she says for 3 days. Lakewood Correctional operates on a simple principle. Make the women small enough and they'll stop being problems. Small cells. Small portions. Small freedoms. 3 women in a 6x8 cell is the administration's way of saying, we own the air you breathe. Maya Chen takes up no space. She barely eats. Barely moves. During count, she stands with perfect posture, states her number with mechanical precision, then returns to staring at the wall. During rec time, she sits in the corner of the yard, watching the fence line like she's calculating distances. She planning something, Rivera mutters on day 4. We're in the chow line, trays extended for whatever chemical approximation of food they're serving. You see how she looks at the guards? The exits? Girls mapping the place. Or she's traumatized. I accept a scoop of something gray that might be meat. You remember your first week? I was terrified. But I still talked. Still tried to figure out where I fit. Rivera glances back toward our cell block. That one? She's not trying to fit anywhere. She's trying to disappear. But Rivera's wrong. Maya isn't trying to disappear. She's trying to decide who to trust. I figure this out on day 5 when I catch her watching me. Really watching. Not the vacant stare at the wall, but active assessment. Taking inventory of how I move, who I talk to, what hierarchies I navigate. You need something? I ask. She blinks. Refocuses on the wall. No. Because if you have questions about how things work here, I know how things work. Her voice is flat. I've been down before. Just not here. This is new information. Rivera sits up in her bunk. Yeah. Where? Stateville. 2 years. Got out 8 months ago. Maya's jaw tightens. Violated parole. Public defender said I'd get 18 months. Judge gave me 4 years. The math doesn't add up. Parole violation for something minor, missed meeting, failed drug test, doesn't get you 4 years. Not unless there's more to the story. What did you violate for? Maya's eyes meet mine. For the first time, I see something other than blankness. Something cold and sharp and absolutely certain. I hit someone who needed hitting. Rivera laughs. Girl, I like you already. But I'm not laughing. Because I recognize that look. It's the same one I see in the mirror some mornings. The look of someone who made a choice they'd make again, consequences be damned. Who'd you hit? My ex-boyfriend's new girlfriend. She was watching my daughter. Told her that her real mommy didn't want her anymore. That I was trash and she'd be better off forgetting about me. Maya's hands curl into fists. So I waited outside her work and broke her jaw. Silence fills the cell. How old's your daughter? I ask quietly. 6. Her name is Lily. Maya pulls a photograph from her pocket. Contraband, personal items aren't allowed in cells. But the guards who did intake let her keep it anyway. Because even correctional officers have moments of mercy. Or maybe they just knew that taking it would be one cruelty too many. The girl in the photo has Maya's eyes. Dark. Serious. Old for her age. She's beautiful, Rivera says. She was. Maya tucks the photo back. Now I don't know what she is. They won't let me call. My ex filed for full custody. His lawyer says I'm a violent criminal unfit for parenting. Guess breaking someone's jaw doesn't look great in family court. 3 women in a 6x8 cell creates an ecosystem. Everything affects everything else. When Maya has nightmares, and she has them every night, Rivera and I both wake up. The sounds she makes aren't screaming. They're worse. Small, choked noises like she's trying not to disturb us even in sleep. When Rivera gets a letter from her son's school, He's failing math, acting out, the counselor wants to talk. Maya and I give her the cell for an hour. Let her cry in private. In prison, privacy is the most valuable currency. When I lose my commissary privileges for a week because I mouthed off to Officer Daniels, they share their supplies. Toothpaste, soap, the small dignities that keep you human. We don't talk about it. Don't make it into something meaningful. But the ecosystem adjusts, adapts, survives. On day 9, Maya speaks more than 5 words at once. They're going to ask me to testify. Rivera and I are playing cards with a deck so worn the numbers are barely visible. We both freeze. Testify against who? Rivera asks. Remember that gang shooting in Parkview? 3 dead, including a kid. Maya stares at her hands. I saw who did it. I was walking home from my shift at the diner. Saw the whole thing. Gave a statement to the police before I really understood what I was doing. My stomach drops. And now they want you to testify in court. Prosecutor came to see me yesterday. Says my testimony is crucial. Says I could help put away a dangerous criminal. Says it's my civic duty. Her laugh is bitter. Like I owe society anything after what it's done to me. Rivera sets down her cards. And if you refuse? She said my cooperation would be noted. Implied it might help with my parole hearing. Might get my sentence reduced. Maya looks up. But we all know what testifying means. What happens to snitches? The word hangs in the air like smoke. In prison there's a hierarchy of crimes. Drug dealers, thieves, even murderers have a place. But informants? Snitches? They're lower than anything. They're targets. What are you going to do? I ask. I don't know. Maya's voice breaks. If I testify, I might see Lily again sooner. Might get out in time to matter in her life. But I'll have to survive in here first. And everyone will know. The trial will be public. My testimony will be public. By the time I get back from court, the whole prison will know what I did. Rivera and I exchange a glance. We both know the statistics. Informants get attacked, isolated, sometimes killed. The prison administration says they have protective custody, but that's just another word for solitary confinement. 23 hours a day in a box. For years. What did the prosecutor say when you asked about protection? I ask. She said Lakewood has protocols. That I'd be safe. Maya's smile is cold. She doesn't live here. She doesn't know how protocols work when guards are overworked and inmates are creative. The trial date is set for 3 weeks from now. Maya goes silent again. Not the vacant staring of her first days, but deep contemplation. She's running calculations, weighing variables, trying to solve an equation where every answer hurts. I watch her struggle and say nothing. Because what can I say? Don't testify and let a murderer walk free? Testify and spend the next 4 years looking over your shoulder? There are no good answers in prison. Only different types of bad. On day 14, everything changes. A woman named Sanchez approaches Maya in the yard. Sanchez runs one of the largest informal networks in Lakewood. Not quite a gang, but close enough. She controls the flow of contraband, settles disputes, and maintains order in the vacuum where official authority fails. I'm on the basketball court, but I see the interaction. See Sanchez lean in close. See Maya's face go absolutely still. See Sanchez walk away smiling. Maya doesn't come to rec after that. Goes straight back to the cell. When Rivera and I return, she's sitting on her bunk, holding Lily's photograph. What did Sanchez want? Rivera asks. To give me advice. Maya's voice is hollow. She said she heard about the trial. Said testifying would be a mistake. Said accidents happen to people who don't listen to good advice. She threatened you? No. She educated me. Explained how things work. Who has power and who doesn't. Who gets protected and who gets hurt. Maya sets down the photograph. She was actually very polite about it. I sit on my bunk. And she offered an alternative. I refuse to testify. Claim I can't remember what I saw. The case falls apart. The shooter walks. And I live through my sentence without constantly wondering if someone's going to slash my throat in the shower. Rivera leans against the cell bars. But the kid who died was 7 years old. Same age as Lily will be next month. Maya's hands are shaking again. His mother testified at the preliminary hearing. Cried so hard she couldn't speak. Had to be helped out of the courtroom. The cell is quiet except for the ambient noise of the prison. Distant voices. Metal doors. Footsteps echoing down corridors. I've been sitting here trying to figure out what's right, Maya says. But there is no right. There's testify and maybe die. Or don't testify and definitely live with knowing I let a child killer walk free. What about protective custody? I ask. You mean solitary? 23 hours a day in a box for the next 4 years. Maya shakes her head. I'd rather die quick than slow. The next week is a countdown. Maya gets more visits from the prosecutor. More pressure. The woman, Assistant DA Rebecca Walsh, comes twice, then 3 times. Each visit leaves Maya more hollowed out than the last. She showed me crime scene photos today, Maya tells us after the 3rd visit. The kid. What the bullets did to him. Said I owed it to his memory to tell the truth. That's manipulative as hell, Rivera says. It's also true. Maya lies back on her bunk. I do owe him. I owe his mother. I owe everyone who lives in Parkview and deserves to feel safe. You don't owe them your life, I say. Don't I? She turns to look at me. How much is a life worth? Mine versus a 7-year-old's? Mine versus everyone that shooter might hurt in the future. It's the question I've been avoiding asking myself. 'Cause I have a daughter too. 9 years old now. I haven't seen her in 2 years. Wouldn't recognize her voice on the phone if she called. What would I do for her? What wouldn't I do? My daughter's name is Emma, I hear myself say. She's 9. Last time I saw her, she told me she hated me for leaving her. My sister said it's just anger. That she'll understand when she's older. But I don't think she will. I think she'll hate me forever. Maya sits up. Why are you telling me this? Because I'm trying to figure out the same math you are. How much do we sacrifice for people we love? For people we don't even know? Where's the line between being a good mother and being a good person? Rivera has been quiet, but now she speaks. My son visits once a month. His father brings him. And every time my son asks when I'm coming home. And every time I lie and say soon. Because the truth, that I have 6 more years, would destroy him. She looks at Maya. So I lie to protect him. Even though lying makes me the kind of mother I never wanted to be. The 3 of us sit in silence. 3 mothers. 3 daughters, 1 son. 3 versions of the same impossible equation. The prosecutor asked if I had children, Maya finally says. When I said yes, she said I should testify for Lily. Show her that doing the right thing matters. That justice matters. Justice. Rivera spits the word. Where was justice when they gave you 4 years for defending your daughter's dignity? Where was justice when they locked me up for trying to feed my family? Where was justice for any of us? It wasn't there, Maya agrees. But maybe that's why it matters when we choose it anyway. Even when it costs us everything. Day 17. Sanchez visits our cell personally. This is unprecedented. Sanchez doesn't come to people. People come to her. The fact that she's standing at our cell door, flanked by 2 of her associates, means the situation has escalated beyond subtle threats. Chen. We need to talk. Maya stands. I'm listening. Not here. Recreation yard. 15 minutes. It's not a request. After they leave, Rivera grabs Maya's arm. Don't go alone. What choice do I have? We'll come with you, I say. And watch them beat me up in front of witnesses? That helps how? Maya pulls away. This is my problem. I'll handle it. But 15 minutes later, Rivera and I are in the yard anyway. Far enough to give Maya space. Close enough to see what happens. Sanchez meets Maya near the far fence. The conversation looks civil. Almost friendly. But I can see Maya's posture. The tension in her shoulders. The way she keeps her hands visible, non-threatening. 5 minutes. 10. 15. Then Sanchez steps closer. Says something that makes Maya's face go pale. Hands her something. A piece of paper, maybe a photo. Then walks away. Maya stands frozen for a long moment. Then slowly walks back to us. What did she say? Rivera asks. Maya hands me the piece of paper. It's a photograph. Recent. High quality. Lily. Maya's daughter. Playing in a park. There's a date stamp, 3 days ago. She said Lily's a beautiful girl. Said it would be a shame if something happened to her. Said her boyfriend's brother lives 2 blocks from Lily's school. Maya's voice is absolutely flat. Said accidents happen to children all the time. Especially children whose mothers make poor decisions. I feel sick. She threatened your daughter. She educated me about risks. Her exact words. Maya takes the photo back. Stares at it. I told her I'd think about it. You can't let them? What exactly should I do? Maya whirls on me. Go to the guards? Tell them a prisoner threatened my daughter's safety? They'll investigate. Find nothing. And I'll be marked as a snitch anyway. Go to the prosecutor? She'll promise protection she can't deliver. My daughter lives in the real world, where Sanchez's people can reach her anytime they want. Rivera and I have no answer. Because she's right. That night, Maya doesn't sleep. Neither do Rivera and I. We lie in our bunks listening to her breathe. Listening to her cry so quietly she thinks we can't hear. Listening to her whisper her daughter's name like a prayer. At 3 a.m. she finally speaks. Tell me about your daughters. I don't pretend to be asleep. Emma loves horses. Has never seen one in real life but collects plastic ones. Lines them up on her dresser in precise order. Gets upset if anyone moves them. Lily loves drawing, Maya says. She'd spend all day with crayons if I let her. Drew me a picture once of our family, me, her, even her father who left when she was 2. She gave him a smile because she said everyone deserves to be happy in pictures. Rivera's voice comes from the top bunk. My son Marcus, he's 12 now, wants to be a doctor. Says he's going to cure diseases and make enough money to buy me a house when I get out. Like I deserve a house after what I did. What did you do? Maya asks. Embezzled money from my employer. Not a lot. Enough to pay for Marcus's asthma medication when we lost our insurance. Got caught. Got 3 years. Rivera shifts in her bunk. Worth it though. He's alive. He's healthy. That's all that matters. You broke the law for your son, Maya says slowly. I broke someone's jaw for my daughter. We're both criminals who thought we were being good mothers. Maybe we were, I say. Maybe being a good mother sometimes means being a bad person. Or maybe, Rivera counters, being a good mother means showing our children that some things matter more than safety, more than comfort, more than even them. Maya is quiet for a long moment. The kid who died. His name was Carlos. 7 years old. First grader. His mother said he loved dinosaurs. Wanted to be a paleontologist. Her voice cracks. If I don't testify, his mother gets no justice. The shooter walks free. And Lily grows up knowing her mother chose her over a dead child's right to justice. And if you do testify? I ask gently. I spend 4 years looking over my shoulder. Maybe survive. Maybe don't. And Lily grows up knowing her mother chose a stranger's child over her own safety. Over being there for her. The impossible equation. No matter how many times we run the numbers, the answer never changes. Someone loses. The only question is who. Day 21. The trial is tomorrow. The prosecutor comes for a final visit. Maya is gone for 2 hours. When she returns, her face is set like stone. I'm testifying. Rivera and I both freeze. What about Lily? I ask. Walsh, the prosecutor, made some calls. Got Lily and my ex enrolled in a witness protection program. Not full relocation but monitoring. Security. Regular check-ins. Maya sits on her bunk. It's not perfect. Sanchez's people are resourceful. But it's something. And you? Rivera asks. What happens to you when you come back from testifying? Walsh is arranging a transfer. Different facility. Different state maybe. She says I'll be protected. You believe her? No. But I believe that not testifying makes me someone I can't live with. Maya pulls out Lily's photograph one more time. My daughter is 6. In 10 years she'll be 16. Old enough to understand what happened here. Old enough to ask me why I made the choices I made. She traces Lily's face in the photograph. I want to be able to tell her I did the right thing. Even when it was hard. Even when it cost me everything. Because if I can't teach her that, what kind of mother am I? The night passes slowly. We don't sleep. We sit together in our 6x8 cell and wait for morning. At dawn they come for Maya. Not guards. Sanchez's people. 3 of them. They move fast. One holds Rivera against the bars. One blocks my path. The third goes for Maya. It's over in 30 seconds. The attack is professional. No excessive violence. Just enough to send a message. A slash across Maya's face. Not deep enough to kill. Deep enough to scar. Deep enough to remind her, every time she looks in a mirror, of what happens to people who don't listen. They're gone before the guards arrive. Maya sits on the floor, blood streaming down her face, and laughs. Too late, she says through split lips. I already gave my deposition. Even if I die before trial, they can use it as testimony. Walsh recorded everything yesterday. I press my uniform shirt against her face, trying to stop the bleeding. Why didn't you tell us? Because then you'd be accomplices. This way you're just witnesses. She winces as I apply pressure. This way you're safe. The guards finally arrive. See the blood. Start asking questions we won't answer. In prison you don't talk to guards. Not about violence. Not about anything that matters. They take Maya to medical. Rivera and I are left in the cell, surrounded by blood that's already drying brown on the concrete floor. She's not coming back, Rivera says quietly. I know. They'll transfer her after medical clears her. Send her somewhere else. We'll never see her again. I know. Rivera climbs down from her bunk. Sits next to me on the floor. We stare at the blood together. You think she made the right choice? Rivera asks. I think she made the only choice she could live with. Same thing? Maybe. Or maybe there are no right choices in places like this. Just choices that cost different things. Maya Chen is transferred to a federal facility 3 states away exactly 1 week later. I never see her again. Never hear from her. She becomes a ghost story in Lakewood, the woman who testified and survived. The woman who chose justice over safety. 3 months later I get a letter. No return address. But I recognize the handwriting from the notes Maya used to leave on our shared calendar. Inside, a crayon drawing. A stick figure woman holding hands with a smaller stick figure. Both are smiling. At the top, in a child's handwriting, my mommy is brave. And underneath in Maya's writing, Lily drew this after I explained why I did what I did. She said she's proud of me. Thought you should know it was worth it. I pinned the drawing to the wall above my bunk. Rivera doesn't comment, but I catch her looking at it sometimes. Wondering. Calculating her own equations. 2 months after that, the trial concludes. The shooter is convicted. Life without parole. The news reaches Lakewood through the grapevine. Someone's lawyer mentioned it, someone else saw it on TV during their court appearance. Sanchez's network goes quiet for a week. Then resumes operations. Because the machine doesn't stop. One conviction doesn't change the fundamental architecture of prison. Power still flows through unofficial channels. Violence still answers questions that authority can't or won't address. But something has shifted. Women whisper Maya's name like it means something. Like she proved something. Like maybe the cost-benefit analysis isn't as simple as Sanchez wants everyone to believe. I still have 6 years left on my sentence. Emma is 9 now. Will be 15 when I get out. Old enough to have opinions about her mother. Old enough to ask hard questions. I don't know what I'll tell her about my time at Lakewood. About the things I saw. The compromises I made. The woman who stayed in my cell for 3 weeks and changed how I think about courage. But I know I'll tell her about Maya Chen. About the mother who chose the harder path because it was the right one. Who paid for that choice with blood and exile and years of looking over her shoulder. Who did it anyway. Because some things matter more than safety. More than survival. More than even the people we love. Sometimes, the only way to be a good mother is to show your children what being a good person costs. And then pay it. The third bunk in our cell stays empty now. Rivera and I have the space we wanted. But sometimes at night I still hear Maya's quiet crying. Still see her holding Lily's photograph. Still watch her make the choice that will haunt her and define her and ultimately save her. Not from prison. From becoming someone her daughter couldn't respect. I touch the crayon drawing on my wall. The stick figures holding hands. The brave mommy and the proud daughter. And I think, maybe that's enough. Maybe that's everything. Outside the prison grinds on. But in here, in this cell, we carry the weight of our choices. And some of us carry them with grace.